Hi everybody, I'm Susan Mulvihill. Welcome back to our garden in Spokane, Washington, where the hardiness zone ranges from 5B to 6A. Although for a change of pace, I am not out in the veggie garden, but rather in the ornamental part of our landscape. And that's because today's topic is wonderful flowering shrubs for your garden. And of course, nothing is more fitting to start with than the lilac, and that's because Spokane is known as the Lilac City. Did you know that? If you didn't, you do now. And of course, they smell so fabulous. This is a huge lilac bush. We planted it ages ago. It does not get a drop of water other than what Mother Nature provides, and look how beautifully it's doing. So lilacs are very easy to grow, and they do well in lots of areas of the country. So they're definitely something to look at. Now let me show you another lilac. Now this beauty is Spokane, and a friend of mine gave it to me about 3 years ago, just as a small start, and look at how well it's doing. The bees love the flowers, and oh, they smell so good. Now, for some reason, this variety is no longer available. I'm not sure what the story behind it is, but if you ever see one, grab it. Lilacs grow in hardiness zones 3 to 7, although there are some cultivars that will tolerate warmer zones. They're very easy to care for. They do best in full sun, and they prefer well-drained soil. When you first plant them, they need some regular watering, but after that, they don't need much water at all. And you definitely do not want to overwater them because they will not like that. Lilacs bloom on old wood. So why is that important? Well, if in early spring you decide you want to do a lot of pruning, you will be cutting off this year's blooms. Wait until after they've bloomed to do any types of pruning or deadheading. These old lilacs near our pond are very tall, and I keep meaning to prune them back after they've finished blooming. But do you think I can remember to do that? No, but perhaps this is the year. Some lilac varieties are rebloomers, such as Bloomerang Dark Purple and Bloomerang Dwarf Purple. And that reminds me that there are many varieties that don't need a lot of room, so if you're tight on space, look for them. The best time to plant lilacs is either in the spring or fall. Definitely not during the hottest part of the year. How about this snowball viburnum? That is a single plant. I don't know how tall that is, but it is covered with hundreds, if not thousands, of these beautiful flowers. And they are such a joy to see every spring. Snowball viburnums do best in full sun to part shade and prefer consistent watering, but not super damp soil. They typically grow about 10 feet tall and wide and do best in zones 3 to 8. How about these pretty tree peonies? And I wanted to clarify that one of the main characteristics of shrubs is that they have woody stems, and that's what tree peonies have. There are also herbaceous peonies, but they're not technically shrubs, so I won't be talking about them today. Here's another beautiful tree peony, and oh, I wish I could remember the cultivar name because isn't that a beauty? Oh. Tree peonies like to be in a sunny location, but will tolerate a bit of shade. The best time to plant them is in the fall. They need minimal care, mainly just deadheading when the flowers are spent. They grow in zones 4 to 8, and don't overwater them. Hydrangeas are another wonderful flowering shrub, and there are so many different types of them. And I'm going to have to resort to showing you some photos because you can see it's just got its leaves, but it hasn't started forming flower buds. And I want to show you some examples of the wonderful ones that we grow here in our garden. Most hydrangea types and varieties will grow in zones 4 to 9, but be sure to check the plant tag first. They like well-drained soil and do best where they get morning sun and afternoon shade. It's important to know which type of hydrangea you have because that will have a bearing on when it's safe to prune them so you get lots of blooms. Their heights vary depending upon the type. Azaleas are another option, and unfortunately this one is only just now opening, but the flowers are breathtaking. So let me show you a picture of what they look like fully open because they'll knock your socks off. Azaleas grow in zones 5 to 9. They're in the same plant family as rhododendrons, and they like acid soil, so I occasionally will give them an acid fertilizer. They bloom in the spring. Be sure to plant them in a sheltered location where they get morning shade and afternoon sun. There are so many beautiful varieties of azaleas. I love rhododendrons, and these ones are the first thing a person sees when they go up to our front door. You can see the one in the foreground is blooming like crazy right now. It's the first bloomer, and it's covered with bumblebees, which is awesome. I love how rhododendrons have evergreen leaves. They stay on the plants year-round, which amazes me, especially with our snowy winters. And of course, they have these fabulous flowers. They prefer acidic soil, so I use an acidic fertilizer each year, usually very early spring, and they grow beautifully for us. There are so many different varieties and colors. You definitely want to check them out. This is what the view from our front porch looks like every spring. The rhodies are just fabulous. Here's another shrub that is just getting going, so I'm going to have to show you some photos of it. But this is Calycanthus Aphrodite sweet shrub, and it looks tropical, doesn't it? It has bright red flowers that are gorgeous, and when I first got the shrub many years ago, I thought that looks way too tropical for a Spokane winter, and it makes it through our winters with no problems at all. This one is a joy. The interesting thing is that the flowers have kind of a tropical scent to them, almost like pineapple juice or something, but it is a joy to have in our landscape. Calycanthus Aphrodite sweet shrub is quite a mouthful, but these amazing shrubs grow in hardiness zones 5 to 9 and prefer part to full sun. Ours gets morning sun and afternoon shade. They can grow between 6 to 12 feet in height. I typically prune ours back a bit each year. We have grown Korean spice viburnums for years, and I think the flowers are lovely, but the scent is intoxicating. Look also at how the leaves are shiny. So this is a wonderful shrub, and it makes such a nice addition to the landscape. These wonderful shrubs will grow in full sun to part shade and generally grow 4 to 6 feet tall, but ours is probably about 10 feet high. They must be watered regularly. Try to plant one near a walkway so you can inhale their fabulous fragrance when they're blooming. Now, no video on flowering shrubs would be complete if I didn't include roses. I love growing them. I have all different colors and types of them, many with wonderful scents, and they are definitely worth growing. There are so many that will do great in a wide variety of conditions. Roses come in a lot of different sizes and in so many colors. They do best in full sun with regular water. I deadhead the spent flowers and typically do my pruning in the spring once they've started budding out. There are so many wonderful varieties. Now let's take a look at some of the native shrubs that we grow. Bill and I are crazy about birds, and so we wanted to plant things that would attract them to our landscape. For one thing, they might provide some shelter in case there's a predator in the area. Maybe they might nest in the shrub. And also we wanted to provide them with some food sources. So many of what we grow produce berries, and that's what they eat during the fall and winter months. So let's see what we've got. If you have a bit of room, how about red twig dogwoods? This one is just blooming its heart out, and it does not get any water other than what Mother Nature provides. And they're known for the beautiful red bark on their stems and branches. This is a low-maintenance shrub that prefers full sun to part shade. They need to be watered regularly and can grow 6 to 9 feet tall. By removing old growth, you'll get vibrant new red growth. Looking at the flowers of an American cranberry bush, which is a native plant. It's a type of viburnum, and these plants have so many attributes. You are going to fall in love with them. They do grow quite tall, and so I know that discourages folks sometimes, but they are beautiful year-round. These are also known as cranberry viburnums or highbush viburnums. They'll grow in full sun to part shade and can reach up to about 12 feet in height. Wow! They have gorgeous flowers in the spring, then shiny green berries that mature to red. Birds are crazy about the ripe berries. And then the leaves turn red, so they're a wonderful 4-season shrub. This is a golden currant, another native shrub, and unfortunately it just finished blooming, so I'm going to have to resort to using some photos so you can see what a lovely plant it is. But the birds love it, the bees love it, I love it. Golden currants grow well in zones 3 or 4 to 8, and they prefer full sun to part shade. They're drought tolerant, just needing occasional water. Plants will grow from 6 to 10 feet tall, and the bright yellow flowers are beautiful. Boy, do the birds love the berries. Our snowberries have finished blooming for the year, but as you can tell by the name, they produce berries. White berries, as a matter of fact, and the birds love to eat them. So this is a great native shrub. It's very attractive, and I heartily recommend it. Snowberries grow in full sun to part shade and just need regular watering until they become established. They'll grow in zones 3 to 7. They have pretty flowers that develop into bright white berries, which our bird friends really enjoy during the winter months. Well, that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some ideas of wonderful shrubs to add to your own garden. They are so reliable. They come back year after year, and most of them need minimal care. Thanks so much for watching today, everybody. Happy gardening.